righty, we have liftoff. And welcome to you online there. And guess what time it is? It's time to stand and sing.
Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This holy, this holy, this holy day. This holy, this holy, this holy day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit, thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit, thank you for my wealth. My abundant, abundant, abundant wealth. My abundant, abundant, abundant wealth. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit, thank you for my life. My beautiful, my beautiful, my beautiful life. My beautiful, my beautiful, my beautiful life. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This holy, this holy, this holy day. This holy, this holy, this holy day. Thank you for my day. Thank you for this day. Day.
All right. Hey.
Good morning, everyone. Right here and online as we fill up the room. Spirit is in this place, and my heart is happy today. We are going to have a great day of celebration. So we do come together on Sunday mornings because we know that life is amazing, and that as we tune into that and discover our own spiritual magnificence, our lives are transformed to become better and better and better, and we shine that light and love of God brightly for ourselves and the world, and it does make a difference. So thank you for being with us today as we light up the world with the truth of Spirit everywhere, in all places. And I want to say, and so it is. That sounded like a prayer, didn't it? But right now I'm going to introduce our amazing board member, Paresh Shah, to do our announcements this morning.
Good morning. Happy June. So we have a host of wonderful activities for inspiration and connection coming up. Today is a very special membership meeting. After service today, we're going to vote on our new senior minister. Woo! Reverend Gregory Toole is the candidate, and it will be a short meeting, and we're asking everyone immediately after service to clear the sanctuary, and so that the members can then check in outside, receive their ballots, and then hospitality will be after the meeting, okay? So after service, we clear out, get the ballots, come back in, we'll do the voting, and then we will have our regular hospitality. Tomorrow, June 3rd, is our men's group meeting at 7 p.m. in the foyer. Thursday, June 6th, we'll have the spiritual discussion group and the labyrinth walk. Anyone done the labyrinth walk? Did you find your way out? I guess you wouldn't raise your hand if you're still stuck in there, right? Next Sunday, June 9th, is our choir practice. Following service, compliments of Andy pulling us together. And our women's circle will be meeting at 12:30, also on Thursday in the teen room, Sunday, June 9th. Sunday, June 9th, after service. Our summer fun concert with the Soundscape Orchestra is Friday, June 7th. And on Sunday, June 9th, we're partnering with the Beach Cities Health District for the screening of the award-winning film Outsider. It will include a panel discussion with health professionals about mental health and the benefits of art. It's free and open to the public. That's June 9th, next Sunday. And, of course, we'll be celebrating Juneteenth with live music and great food on June 16th. We're looking for people to bring food for this special event. You can sign up in the foyer. Reverend Valerie Reeves is teaching a hypnosis certification class on June 21st and 22nd. And with summer on its way, it's time for Divine Dining. We're looking for people to host events like movie night, boat rides, dinners, game nights, parties, and other fun things. How many of you went to a Divine Dining event last year? Right? It was amazing. Clap. Let's hear how great it was, right? And thank you for all the volunteers and people who provided the venues for those great events. We have 2 great book study groups ongoing, and all are welcome to join these groups at any time. Check the back of your program for information on that. And we have our Science of Mind class on Sundays before service from 10:15 to 10:45. And join us for a taste of Ernest Holmes every Sunday right before service. And of course, a big thank you to all of our wonderful volunteers. Yay! We couldn't do any of this without you. We couldn't do any of this without you. I have all these pages and pages of events and activities and things that people are doing, and we couldn't do it without the volunteers. So thank you so much. And we still have a couple of opportunities for people who'd like to help, especially with the tech team in the back. You don't need any experience. Grant and the team will teach you what we need to help us out. And now we have some beautiful music as we turn to preparation for our invocation.
So if you wish, close your eyes. Maybe take a breath and become very centered in your body. And relax. And so right here and now, I relax into that awareness of the divine, the power, the presence of love, of wisdom, that presence of deep grounding peace. I know that is the true nature for myself and all. We are one in this one. We are the light, the life, the love, the joy of Spirit of God. And so I speak a word for our time together today, knowing that in spiritual community we feel that deeper connection, not only to that divine in, through, and as each one of us, but that connection with each other as we look through the eyes of love and see that spark, that light, that divine presence in all. I know our time together is blessed by the speakers, by the music, by all who participate, that it is simply a joy to come together and to light up the world with the truth of God's presence everywhere. So I take a moment to be grateful for these words, knowing it's already done. These words are simply a revelation of who we are and what is already true. So I release this word, knowing it is great, it is good, and so it is. So it is.
Good morning again, everyone. Today, Reverend Katherine's topic is Live Boldly, and I'm going to quote Ernest Holmes here. I know that I live in pure spirit. I am one with the perfect whole. Peace and calm surround me and flow through everything I do, say, and think. There is that within me which is completely conscious of this unity with good and of its oneness with all the power that there is. And upon this power and presence and life I depend with complete certainty. I have absolute inner assurance that divine intelligence guides me in everything I do. Did you wake up saying that to yourself this morning? Good, because that's where we come from in this teaching, is understanding that the beautiful affirmation, God is and I am. Dr. Susan Jeffers wrote a wonderful, wonderful book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Anybody ever read that book? It was a long time ago, back in the 70s. Well, I read an interesting thing about her this morning, and she said before she published the book, she had a lot of rejections. But the one rejection that stood out in her mind is the guy wrote back and said, Lady Di could be nude, riding a bicycle, and handing out your book, and no one would read it. Can you imagine that? I have goosebumps when I said that. And guess what? She still persisted boldly, and she published over 20 million books in over 100 countries. Yay. Now, can you imagine if she listened to what these pundits might have said to her, these publishers? And in her book, she says she wants to encourage people that it isn't that we don't have fear, but that you just move through it. And by goodness, the moment that you do move through that fear, what happens? You all of a sudden discover a new aspect about yourself that you might not have known existed. So there's a new way of living, there's a new way of being, and there's a new way of acting, because guess what? All of a sudden you get to live the way you want to. You're not under that cloud of fear or pain or indecision, and instead, walking through that fear and moving through it and doing something, even if it does exist, encourages you to be, you're more enthusiastic, you're more alive, you're all zesty. There's a program on TV, I don't watch it because it scares the bejesus out of me, but it's that guy, his name is Bear Grylls. Has anybody seen that? He's the survivalist, and he was an SAS special ops guy, etc., and he has people like jump off cliffs and do all these crazy things, and then they feel so much more confident about themselves. And I love his saying, I don't know if I need that to feel confident. I'll just say, I can live without jumping off the cliff. But he says, being brave isn't about the absence of fear. It's about having the fear, but finding a way through it. And you know what happens when we find a way through fear? We realize that it's only our thought that stopped us. It was our thought about the thing that restricted whatever it is that was going on. So ask yourself today, who would I be if I wasn't afraid to move forward in some endeavor? If I didn't listen to the criticism of others and let it stop me and block me? Who would I be if I really took charge of my life and said, I can do this? Susan Jeffers said you should write a little note and leave it at your house and to say, so what? I can do it anyway. How about if you made that your affirmation? So what? I can do it anyway. The idea is be kind to yourself. Be encouraging to yourself. You're your biggest fan. Support yourself and know that as you're lifting your spirit and living boldly, guess what? You give the encouragement to everybody in your world, the idea to live boldly as well. So therefore, it's not just an individual upliftment, it's a universal upliftment, and everybody grows because of it. The only reason we're here is to shine our light of God that is within us. Is that true? Of course it is. That's what we're here for, to express and be that expression of God light. So know that as you live boldly, you're living for the health of your soul. And the moment you do that and make that decision, all the powers of the universe rush in to help you out. And so it is. So thank you. I'd like you to please affirm with me, there's one power. That power is God. That power is the power that I use each and every day. From this moment on, I will not let any person, place, or thing stop or block me from living boldly. And so it is. Thank you. Let us welcome up Claire Buffet. Thank you.
Good morning. I am so grateful to be here this morning. I have been, yes, thank you. I have been plagued with a problem in my neck. It's not on? Is it on? Is it good? Oh, okay. And I didn't think I was going to be able to sing, but I am so grateful that I'm able to be here and to be. I love this place, first of all. I love the spirit in this place. It's such a sweet, sweet spirit. And I know that it is the presence of God. So thank you for allowing me to be here this morning. And thank you, God. I'm ready, Andy. I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows, and I believe that somewhere in the darkest night a candle glows. I believe for everyone that goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe, yes, I believe, and I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer will still be heard. And I believe that someone in the great somewhere is everywhere. And every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, I know why I believe. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why. Deep in my soul, deep in
wonderful Claire Bethan. Thank you so much. So the topic is live boldly. And I realized that that topic is the kind of topic that makes you see someone striding forward and feeling confident to go out. But when I wrote the words, when I composed the words, I had something else on my mind. I wrote down several weeks ago, and I've been sitting with it ever since. I wrote down, I live boldly when I live on purpose and with a purpose. So I have had to sit not just with the idea, but why I put that purpose there, put that idea there. And after I sat with this for days, really, what I realized is there is a hole in my life where I didn't have a purpose. And I hadn't thought about it that way before. As a child, and I'm speaking of a child as in the single digits, I had a very disruptive childhood. But the most salient aspect of it was I did not have that purpose. Now, what is a child's purpose? A child's purpose is to play and to learn and to grow and to have and learn to love life. And what I didn't have was that purpose. We lived in an apartment, and I was 6 years old, finishing first grade, and I came home to find that we were moving. And we were moving to my grandparents' house. My mother left my dad. Now, at 6, I'm sure I didn't know that, but that's what it was. So for a year, we lived with my grandmother, and I'm talking about in the wilds of South Alabama, in the woods in Washington County. We did not have indoor plumbing, and we had dirt roads. Did it matter to me at age 6? It did not. None of that mattered. But what mattered is I still didn't have a friend. I didn't have anyone to play with. And so that year ends, my parents come back together, we move again. I'm 7 now, I'm 8 by the time we move. We move onto a street that had just been cut through these woods with lots of wild things, and we're the only house on the street. There are no other children. And so I know by age 8, I said to my mother, I don't have anybody to play with. I don't have anybody to play with. I used to say that over and over again. And what I also didn't have was children to do things with, those activities. I didn't have that opportunity, and so I have long saw that time. It's just this hole that wasn't there. There was nothing there for me. So I realized with no purpose and living in a situation that wasn't entirely wonderful, I was 21, I was almost through with college before I actually had a purpose. And a purpose is something about which you have enthusiasm and you have energy. When you have that energy, nothing gets in your way. As Mary was speaking of the author, nothing gets in your way. But I did not have that. And so if I go back to my early teens, we lived in this house, and so my brothers and I, and they're very young, I'm no more than 12, and we're having this conversation about our situation. And one of my brothers says something negative about our mother. And I snapped at him and said, don't you dare say that. She's the only one we have. Those were my words. And so I realized then, or I realize now, that then is when I had established the purpose of my life was to leave home. Now, I wasn't the kind of person who was just going to be a runaway, but I will tell you, when I talk with teens, in this part of my life, I understand the motivation. You just can't take it anymore, so you leave. But I wasn't going to do that. I don't even think I entertained that at the time. But the feeling, I do know the feeling. I could go days without ever seeing my dad. I'd hear him come in, I'd go to my room. I'd wait till he left to come out of my room. I did this, I could go a month. So this was the situation. I want to leave home. So he even kept me at home an extra year. First year of college, he either sensed that I really wanted to do that or something else. But when I finally left, I was liberated. I had achieved that one purpose in my life. I was free. And I had a great deal of fun. I kind of went wild, nothing really bad, but I mean, I had a lot of fun. I will say that, and that's the first time I can remember feeling that way. I had made one friend in high school, though, and she was a bosom friend. As Anne of Green Gables says, he was a bosom friend. And we remained friends. We both went to different places until she passed away last year. And I still miss her because she was my first bosom friend. And so as I moved forward and I get to near the end of my college, as I said, I found this thing I wanted to do. And I had the enthusiasm and the energy to do that. And so from that point on, I started filling my life with purpose. I may have changed purpose, but I was able to articulate it and do that. So what happens to the hole that was left there? Well, it stays that way, and you may continue to think of it that way. But what I've discovered is, by revealing that, there's an expression inside the mind. You reveal things to heal things. And you reveal that in order to be able to absolutely let it see the light of day and let it dissipate. Ernest Holmes says that there is a divine energy that courses through us that demands that we express. It's a potential that is released through us constantly. It's in that flow. And as long as we stay in that flow, we can stay in that space of where we're allowing this energy to flow. And what keeps us from doing that? Well, there are things that we encounter along in our life that may contribute to that, just like the hole that I felt in that one particular place. A few years ago, it was before pandemic, I taught a course called Myth and Spirit. And the framework of the course is on Joseph Campbell's book about the hero's journey. And the course itself was filled with activities to help us each individually, help the students explore what's going on with them that needs that fresh light of day. Now, the hero's journey is not something that was created by Joseph Campbell. All he did was put a framework on this idea of the myth of the hero's journey that's been alive in Western culture, certainly since Homer. The Odyssey is a hero's journey, and it's fraught with all of these obstacles that thwart him on his journey, and he has to overcome them in order to keep moving forward. And ultimately, he comes home, and he has peace. Well, George Lucas was well-versed in Joseph Campbell's iteration of the hero's journey. And what did he do? But he brought us Star Wars, which is nothing but the hero's journey with obstacles and all sorts of things along the way. But the obstacles are really a metaphor for those obstacles within us. The obstacles are not from without. So when we say, she made me do this, this accident happened, this person jumped out, this person betrayed me, these are not the causes. The causes always come from within. And so on the hero's journey, the hero is learning how to cope with the holes in their experience, or the betrayals, or the mistake or the accident, learning within themselves what it is that they can learn. And it is a journey that we do within. We are all our own heroes. We're not heroes to other people. We're the heroes for ourselves. We are the ones that have to do the work. And so when we have the different things that come into our life, this is an opportunity to take a look at this obstacle and wonder, what am I doing that is bringing about an obstacle, no matter what it is? It's an interior journey. And it's one that we can make with other people in concert, but it is our personal journey. And as we move through those obstacles, there may be more obstacles, because Ernest Holmes also says that nature doesn't let us stay in the same place for very long. We're here long enough to learn the lesson that we need to learn, or learn the things we need to learn here, and then we move on. And sometimes that change feels like an obstacle. And that's, if we treat it that way, then that means there is something within us that we need to look at. Carl Jung talked about the ways that we don't want to deal with those obstacles. And he talked about the different ways that we deal with that. One of them is denial. It's really not affecting me. I don't know anything about that. And we also may repress these feelings that we have so that we don't even know we have them. All of these are unconscious, these defense mechanisms that we throw up. They're unconscious. In the psychology textbook that I used when I was in ministerial training, taking spiritual psychology, it has this wonderful statement that says, they call it unconscious for a reason. We don't know they're there. If we know they're there, then we open it up to the sunlight, and it does dissipate. But meanwhile, we may project it onto someone else. We may do any number of things if we just refuse to look at our own responsibility. But the hero's journey it goes on. And all of these move along, and we learn and we grow as we go through the journey, just as the characters in the fictional stories do. A few years ago, I went to this magnificent retreat that was for ministers, and we learned a lot of wonderful things. The people who were guiding the retreat, it just were masters at what they did. And about midweek, we had this experience where one of the leaders set up a dramatic presentation and then led us in a guided meditation that ended with the prompt, show me the betrayal. Many people in the room went there. They were guided through all of those things. I didn't. I have no idea what she was talking about. I would think of one thing, and no, yes, I did. And so the woman who's leading the retreat came over to me to give me personal attention. I was a hard case. She squatted down in front of me, and she said some of the same things again, but she's this far from me. And she said it again, and I teared up, and she said, that's it. That's it. So she went away, and I'm in a triad with two of my colleagues. And almost immediately, what I said was, because the betrayal was my mother. And so what I said was, she was doing the best she could. And see, that's true. But what my colleague said, yes, that may be true, but you were still hurt in the process and felt it as a betrayal. Wow. That was a huge moment for me. And so when it's open to the light of day, it's very easy to simply release, because I still believe my mother was doing the best she could. She had 3 children in a difficult marriage with a lot of difficult things, and she was doing the best she could. So I told my brother, she's the only one we've got, and that was true. So I had to hold on to that. But I can release whatever pain there was from that, disappointments, all of those things. The lack of the childhood, quite frankly. She was overburdened with all she had and could not supply me with whatever I thought I needed. So it's important that we understand ourselves and be willing to expose these things that give us grief in the now. And only you know what that is. And you only discover that by going within and looking, especially when things get difficult, when there appears to be an obstacle in your way. That's a clue. When somebody says something to you that rises the ire within you, that's a clue. And the rising has nothing to do with the person. It has nothing to do with the obstacle. It has to do with something within you that resonates with that. And so all of my thinking about this was tied up with a bow just a few days ago. I got a message from a friend. And this friend told me this story. I've known her for a while. I've held her hand through a number of things. And she recapped what had happened to her. And she even talked about the things that happened to her as gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching. That's how she felt about what happened. But she's risen above that, and what she could say at the end is, and I am home. And I said, thank you in such a big way, not just to my friend for sending this to me 3 or 4 days ago, but thank you for bringing home to me this idea that we go through life. She is the hero of her journey. She has had a purpose all the way through. And she's still being true to that, whatever that is for her. It's never too late to come up with that purpose. It's never too late. It can be today. And there's a purpose not just for us individually, but for this center. We created this wonderful vision for a minister. And go back some years, we created this mission statement for this center. And that was an emotional experience. And what we come up with is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and enrich the life of all we serve. And that has been the mission. It's been my mission. It is part of what we do. And when you remember that and have that purpose, people can come along, they can say things and they can do things, but there's a purpose. I am on purpose, and I have a purpose. And so when you need to deal with that rises within you, that's your job. That is your job. And when you are the hero, and I'm doing this because it is a circle, because the hero comes back home, left home in order to learn things, but comes back home and there's peace. There's absolute peace. And that's the hero's journey. And that, to me, is living boldly. That you go through life with a purpose. And that no matter what happens, you have your obstacles, you deal with them, you move along, but you come home. And you come home to that peace. I'm going to invite all of you to just close your eyes for a moment. And take a breath. And as you exhale, breathe in and know that that flow of life that you're breathing in is absolutely vital to all of our happiness and all of the things that we want. It is full of light, life, and love, and peace and power. And as you open your eyes, know that there is beauty and joy in your life as you allow that flow to keep moving through you. Know that you have a purpose in this life, and you know what it is. And you are being your own hero in your life when it's time to be called to that. So I invite you to say, I am my hero. I know my purpose. And I allow myself to live boldly. Thank you all so much and so good. Thank you so much, ladies. We have the most wonderful opportunity now to have my friend and sister Claire is going to come up and sing us an amazing song. And I am so grateful. Thank you so much.
One of my favorite songs by Stevie Wonder. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Good morning or evening, friends. This is your friendly announcer. And I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say may mean the world's disaster, may bring your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love is in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. You know that hate's walking around and breaking many hearts. You better stop it please, before it's gone too far. The force of evil plans to make you its possession, and it will, if you let it, destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then hear me when I say it's that love is in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. You know that hate's walking around, breaking many hearts. But we can stop it please, before it's gone too far. Don't you hear me saying love is in need of love today. So don't delay, send yours in right away. You know that hate's walking around, yes it is, and breaking many hearts. But we can stop it. Wonder wrote this song back in 1972. And I hope and pray that we live to see the day when those words are no longer relevant. God bless you. Hey, you know that hate's walking around. Yes, it is breaking many hearts. You better stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Do you know the words? Love is in need. Yes, it is. Of love today. No, don't delay. Send it in right away. You know that hate's walking around, and breaking many hearts. You can stop it, I can stop it, we can stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Yeah.
Our ushers are coming down, and this is a time of our giving. This is where we give back to this center that has given, I know, so much to me and so much to all of us. And so I allow you to feel generous as you say with me this affirmation: divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is.
Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is, that God is all there is. Grateful for the morning, grateful for the sunlight on my face, grateful for the feeling, grateful for the knowing, grateful for the love that's in this place, grateful for believing that God is all there is. Yes, God is all there is. God is all there is.
So as we're closing out the service, I invite us all to know, as we tie a bow on all of the messages that have come through today, the love in the music, the love in the words, the encouragement, and the notion that the obstacles on my path are merely stepping stones that allow me to move forward with such a divine purpose. God is all there is. I am grateful for knowing that God is all there is, expresses as me, expresses as everyone in this room who I know is living boldly in their lives. As we all come together in divine communion, loving each other, and grateful for being here, grateful for this place, and say, and so it is. I want to remind everyone the protocol that we have following the peace song, and that is that we empty the sanctuary as quickly as we can, only to come back in an orderly fashion through the door with the clipboards for the meeting, which is going to be short. It is promised that it's going to be brief, but do the job. And so, as we come together for this peace song, I know the ministers and the practitioners are coming forward, and I know that this is this blessed, blessed day. And I allow everyone to be with us as we come together and sing this wonderful song, because we know when we know there's peace